Hey y'all, welcome back to UniX TCG, and today, based off of votes, we are doing Vegeta as the archetype breakdown. So buckle in, get ready, because we have a lot to go over. Past that, I want to say thank you guys for all the support on the Cell archetype. Not only are you guys showing out in the views and the comments for the SL archetype breakdown, but the people have been going to the Patreon and to see the in-depth breakdown, the deck list, the little untapped shenanigans that I was having for that deck to kind of show you where I am on testing with it. And we will be doing the same thing for Vegeta. That is right. You will be able to go to my Patreon if you so choose to help support the channel holder and see my current list, some plays, some openings, how I mulligan, and then of course from there on just join me on the journey of testing out this deck before I go down to North Carolina. So thank you guys for the support all around on this channel and the Patreon, and we're gonna keep it going. That being said, let's get this video over 100 likes. Let's boot these views up into space, and let's keep on going with this. Check out the social media like the YouTube page and the Twitter and the Patreon for the vote for the next video, and yeah, we're gonna keep it moving. So with that being said, let's hop into it. So as we put the leader up on the screen, I think it's no surprise to anybody that yellow is not really a combo color as much as it is a good card in the deck color. You just kind of put all the good yellow cards in there, but they have to have some synergy. So first and foremost, we're going to be looking at Vegeta. When attacking, draw one card, and then awaken when your life is at 4 or less, draw one card, flip this card over. Easy peasy. And then you get to his backside, which has some great art. And then this is when attacking, draw one card, end of your turn, switch 2 of your rest mode energy to active mode. So with this effect, he lives and dies on what you can do on your opponent's turn. Otherwise, he is essentially a leader. So we will be focusing on those things. Your activate battles, whether it be on a battle card, whether it be on an extra card. But yeah, this is what this guy does. The strategy in general is to turn your board sideways, tap out, play on curve. He's one of the leaders that can play on curve every single turn he's awakened and still have the energy to defend himself. Basically the sole striker of this game if you guys have been playing Dragon Ball Super Masters. So moving forward to the first card, we got to talk about these new additions to the Yellow Awakening package. We have Bulma. Bulma is a 1-cost 5k 5k combo power. Activate battle, switch this card to rest mode, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, then choose one. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards the cost of 4 or less and switch it to rest mode. And then if you have a rest mode battle card with 3 cost or more, draw a card. I can let you know right now, in a lot of situations you'll just be using the second one, because this Bulma not only will get you awakened, but she is a draw engine on her own. It is actually insane how many cards this guy nets, or like Bulma nets you. And the thing is, against red, this card is easily taken care of. Against blue, it depends on what they draw. In the yellow mirror, yeah, often this card is easily taken care of because you already need to have some early game removal for 1-drops or the ability to tap them and then attack them. Against yellow, or against green though, this card can live a little longer than it needs to, and that could really snowball the matchup. Like, unless they're playing Kami or I-Beam, you really do get to sit with this card and just kind of potentially make it go crazy. Now, the first time you play this, I'm not going to hold you, it's probably getting destroyed. Like, it's probably going to destroy the following turn. But the second or third time you play this, you really do get to keep it up versus a fair amount of decks outside of red. Like, yeah, don't put too many resources in it, but a lot of times you're just going to be able to play this card, get a quick draw, and then just keep it moving. So yeah, this is an excellent card. Now the other half of this new Awakening package equation is Vegeta, and Vegeta is just crazy. So permanent, your opponent's turn. All of your rest mode battle cards cannot be KO'd by your opponent's skills. On play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. Then play up to 1 battle card at the cost of 1 or less from your hand. Now, this is a 3-cost, 20k power, 5k combo power. And this guy is changing the way yellow is. Yellow used to be an open nerve in terms of the fact that everything you play can just get blown up. You can play things faster, you had energy untapped, but this really just, you got blown out of the water sometimes. It just wasn't even a question. Now, this guy is going to change this because you can no longer get KO'd if everything's sideways. And what this is going to definitely change is the fact that you can't get SR Goku anymore. You can't get SR Beerus anymore with this card in the field and everything turns sideways. You can't get androids. You can't get, most importantly, you can't get 7 dropped in Gohan. They have to get rid of this Gohan, or this Vegeta first, and because of the way your leader is, you're likely going to have the extra cards to protect this guy from battle. Now that being said, note that he is not immune to having his power minus to 0. He is not immune to being bounced to your hand or tucked to the bottom of your deck. So there are a lot of cards that are going to be able to get around him in red and blue. However, when it comes to the yellow mirror and green, he's pretty sticky. And that's actually the biggest part about this card. Now, the coolest part about his awakening function is that this Vegeta is going to be able to come into play, take a life, and cheat out a Bulma. That is his primary function in game, or in the early game. And then when he attacks, you can activate the Activate Battle of Bulma and take another life and draw a card. This is a swing. This guy is going to come down and immediately replace himself by taking a life, and then you play the Bulma, putting you at a -1. You have a bigger body on board, but a -1 from hand. Then you're going to be able to attack with him, put the Bulma over, Bulma gains a life, putting you as a break even in hand advantage, and then draws a card, putting you at a +1 in hand advantage with yourself closer to awaken. What this means is that the awakening curve for yellow has never been stronger. As long as you see a Bulma and Vegeta and a 2-drop awakener, your opponent only has to once again hit you 1 time. And if they hit you 1 time, you are going to be able to then play your 2-drop, take a life, and without any other questions asked, you know for a fact if you have Bulma and Vegeta, you get to play Vegeta, put a 1-drop into play, and then swing with Vegeta, tap that Bulma if that was the 1-drop you put into play, and that's your other 2 life. You are now at 4, you can now awaken, and now you can start protecting this Vegeta. So very, very, very strong interaction. On top of that, just because of the way Vegeta operates, it doesn't have to be Bulma. If your opponent attacks you twice, like you go second, right? Or you go first. You play your first energy, your opponent attacks you. Okay, cool. You play your second energy, you play a 2-drop self-awakener. Your opponent attacks you again. Cool. You now are at, what? You've taken 3 life, you're at 5. You just play the Vegeta on turn 3. Put any 1-drop into play, and you flip over. So, this is the whole thing. Now, moving on to another SR that we have here, you have got Son Goku. And Son Goku is just really, 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 really strong. 4 cost, 25k, 10k combo power. On places when attacking, you can pin down something. Choose up to one of your opponent's rest mode battle cards, and it can switch to active mode during your opponent's next turn. The on-play attack is very important here. One, you're going to be able to just play him, point, no. Then you get to attack again later in turn. Point at something, no. And this is also going to be great because you're really just going to be able to turn your opponent's board into a brick. As long as you don't get board wiped, and like I said, that's harder and harder to do now that you have the Vegeta. Like I do say, like, yeah, now that you have the Vegeta, it's harder and harder to get just board wiped. You're not getting 7-drop, you're not getting Beerus 5'd. Beerus 5'd or Gohan SR'd. So this is just a very, very, very solid card. The other cool thing is the 10k combo power is nothing to scoff at. You're going to have him in hand and you're going to be able to protect yourself. This guy is also going to make kind of this really nice staircase curve where you're going to be able to play this guy, lock something down, attack, lock something down, end your turn, untap 2. Next turn, charge to 5, play Golden Frieza, attack, lock something down. Attack with this guy before that, lock something else down. And then from that turn on, until they get your board under control, you're just clapping 2 cards. You're just pinning down 2 cards per turn. And that's if you don't see another Goku later on. And then speaking of that ladder staircase, we talked about 4, we talked about 5. Well, moving on to secret rare Golden Frieza, you now have a 6. You have such a good ladder. Turn 4, play Goku. Tap down something, attack with Goku, tap down something. Turn 5, play Golden Frieza. Attack with Goku, tap down something. Attack with Golden Frieza with a double strike. Tap down something. Then you have the ability to go into 6. Blow up something that you pin down, or something that maybe you didn't pin down if they were able to play out more things than not and swing with all of them. Now you've got Golden Frieza on board. Turn him sideways too. Golden Frieza will be incredibly rough to deal with outside of blue because he's a 40k, so minusing him is going to take multiple cards at the stage of the game. And the hands are getting lower and lower. Green straight up cannot deal with him. If you have a single extra card in hand, Vegeta turns sideways, green will not remove this card the turn he comes down. And this is the greatest part, because if they play a Broly or a Cell, they will not be able to destroy your Vegeta or your Frieza because they're both sideways, and that thing will come in tapped, meaning it cannot swing. It is a huge, huge wall to get around. And you have this permanent, your opponent, it's a 6k, 40k power, 0k combo power. Permanent, your opponent's battle cards that cost a 5 or more played in rest mode. On play, choose up to one of your opponent's rest mode battle cards in KO. When I tell you, if you are not playing blue, this card will look at you in the face and make some really, really hard plays. That's just what it is at this point. So yeah, this guy's gonna be a beat stick. He's gonna remove something, and you've already been keeping things tapped down. He's gonna turn sideways for 4k or 40k. He's just a menace. And so you have a really nice turn 4, 5, and 6 curve as long as the hand permits it. Very, very strong. Now we're gonna start talking about some of the other cards here, because we do have a lot of cards this video, because like I said, it's not exactly combo oriented. There's a lot of different things you can switch in and out. While this deck is trying to, I guess, recreate the 20k spam that you can get off of like Yellow had the Ginu package before. Now Yellow doesn't have the Ginu package, but it has the Trunks and Goten package, where you can pay 2, you have a 20k, and you attack, one way with this Trunks. But you can see this Trunks says on play, choose up to 1 of your Sun Goten battle cards with the cost of 2 or less, switch to active mode. That is because you also have this next card, this Sun Goten, same exact stats, same exact effect, except it affects Trunks. So if you have Trunks or Goten on the board, you're going to be able to play the other one and untap it, and then you have 2 more attacks, the card you just played and the card you untapped. And then if you, for whatever reason, they survive, you get to attack 2 times, and you play the other corresponding kid, one of the kids, he'll untap the other one, adding 2 more attacks on. So just for 2 energy, if you have 2 of these guys on board, 1 of each, for 2 more energy, you're turning it from 2 attacks to 4 attacks. If you wanted to play another one for 4 energy, you're turning it from 4 attacks to, from 2 attacks to 4 to 6. So this in itself is kind of a little bit of a core to kind of replicate that 20k attack spam that Ginu would have. Is it going to be as good? I don't know about that. You have to have things survive. The whole thing about Raycoon into Ginu SR into another 2-drop is that you can just have that in hand, and it can come out of nowhere. So moving on, we have another card that I would consider being partially the muscle, and that is the Master Roshi. 3 cost, 5k power, 10k combo power, blocker. Permanent, if this card's in rest mode, this card gains plus 20k power. So you play this card, you attack with them, goes up to 25k. I wouldn't ever really put this guy as a blocker unless you were against green, because in the sense of red, if he's untapped, he's gone. They will remove him before he can block. Yellow, whatever. The worst they can do is tap him when he becomes bigger. When it comes to blue, he's a 3 cost. He's going to probably get removed regardless. But the only time he's not really safe is red. Otherwise, he can just come down and attack. So something to think about. Nice combo power. Gets it in. Next, we have a card that I am very, very, very keen about. He's a 2 cost, 15k, 10k combo power Krillin. When attacking, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards, the cost of 1 or less, and switch in the rest mode. In set 2, I do believe that early game board clear is going to be more important than it has ever been before. You just have so many things. Red's early game board is going to just be pivotal in how it gets started. The Whis removing everybody else's early stuff, softening boards for the attacks and the KOs. You have Roshi's getting out of hand with the game. You have so many things. Even in blue, you have set up Zamasus that you can potentially attack on, you know what I mean, if they're tapped. Even in this game, it's like, even in yellow, they might be playing Ginyu 1-drops. There can be things like the Bulma that they may want to keep on the field if possible. Like, they may set up a Bulma play on turn 2 to then play Vegeta, and then play a second Bulma from their hand, and then take 2 life, draw 2 cards. This card can really help that on 2. So yeah, I do think that this card is pivotal. It's got good combo power, and it's going to be a card that allows you to break boards very early, and I very much so like that. Next, we have got Android 18. This is a on play and attack, so those are always good effects. 20k power, 10k combo power, very good stats. On play, when attacking, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and switch to rest mode. This one, I have to see how I can work this in. However, this is a very, very, very strong card in the sense that it has no cost requirement. It just is going to tap things. So this is a cost or a tap enabler. It's going to rest any card you want to, because no cards really have this protection from being targeted yet in the game. So realistically, this is a good card. I'm still trying to figure out where I can fit this in, because it's kind of not necessary, I think, but it's also a very powerful card. So we shall see. We shall see. Next, you have Son Gohan Adolescence. And Son Gohan Adolescence, 2 cost, 15k, 10k combo power. On play, choose up to one of your Piccolo battle cards, the cost of 3, switch to active mode. Cards that are narrow like this are always rough, because unless we get more Piccolos, because I think we only have like 1 right now, maybe more in the promo, I gotta check, these are always just kind of funky. Like, if you don't see your Piccolo, this card is useless. So, it's a little weird. And without a Piccolo like SR or something like that, what are we really untapping? It's just kind of odd. Then you have the next Gohan. I rather like this effect a lot. You have 3k 25 or 3 cost 25k 5k combo power. On play, choose up to one of your opponent's rest mode battle cards, and it cannot switch to active mode during the opponent's turn. So it's basically like a mini Goku, but it only does it once, and that's its on play. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. It's not exactly the best card. However, it is a very, very, very good card. Its stats are admirable. Combo power a little lacking, but its attack power is just nothing to scoff at, and it does pin something. Then you have the Piccolo in question. 3 cost, 25k, 5k combo power, blocker, yeah, and then when KO, choose up to one of your battle cards and switch it to active mode. So this is a lot better, but it's still a win KO'd effect in a deck that protects a lot of its stuff. Your opponent just won't attack it. Like, you don't really have any KO enabling in this color, so it's a little weird, a little lackluster. And then we have this Goku. Now this Goku is a 3 cost, 25k, 50 or 5,000 combo power, permanent, your turn. If your opponent has 3 or more rest mode battle cards, this card gains plus 5k power. I don't really like this at all. It's got low combo power. It is a Goku, that's cool. It does have 25k power, that's cool, but its permanent your turn effect depends on your opponent's board. And so even though it goes up to 30k, which is cool, if my opponent is losing badly and doesn't have a lot on board, this card isn't getting its effect, and I don't want to play a card that depends on my opponent's board state to go off, unless that effect is a crazy good payoff. So yeah. Now with that being said, we are going to move on to talk about the sponsors for this video very quickly. So 1 second. So, I am sponsored by Mystic TCG, the coolest store in Missouri, and one of the coolest TCG stores in the country. They hold their own events, locals, they carry so much great TCG product. Any popular game that you've seen being on the table, they carry, and they buy singles, collections, and prize cards. Eden really does it all. Find him at an event, talk to him on the Facebook page, or just visit the store in Missouri and really take off from there. You can go down in the description and click that link and use my code UNIXTCG for discounts off of your product. And if you're above the border and you live in Canada, you've got G3. They are another really cool store that I support. They definitely hold their own events. They sell a bunch of cool product. They buy cards, and on top of that, they have one of the better teams, if not one of the best teams in Dragon Ball Super Master. So if you want some testing for that game, they are the people to be with. Now, past that, in Universe X, I'm doing quite a lot right now. On top of this video, on my Patreon, you'll be able to find a deeper dive into Vegeta with my personal list currently, my text, my ideology. We'll even get on tap and show you some things about it. And on top of that, I will be updating it as I test more and change out some of the cards. So be sure to look at that in the Cell video that went up of the same kind of merit yesterday. And then on other channels like UniXDB, we're going to be going over the new Sparking Zero trailer that just came out today if you're watching this on the 30th of April. And then on Universe X Gaming, whether it be on Twitch or YouTube, we'll be streaming Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Rechain of Memories, because we just finished Final Mix 1. Yes, a couple days ago, I think so. But with that being said, let's get back to the content. The Vegeta archetype breakdown. Alrighty then, so back onto the cards. We have this brand new Vegeta. He's a 3 cost, 20k, 5k combo power card. When attacking, if you have a rest mode Son Goku, draw a battle card, draw a card. Now, I like draw and I like a 20k stat line. However, I think the 3-drop slot is contested. You almost always want to be playing the SR Vegeta, and then after you play the SR Vegeta, you kind of transition into wanting to play your Gokus, into wanting to maybe play a 2-drop or another Vegeta even, and go all through there. So the 3 slot is a little contested for me, but most importantly, I only like one of the 2 Gokus that have been released. And with that being said, I don't think that just with SR Goku, I can play enough copies of this card to make it a reliable draw engine. So I'm not quite sure how I feel about this card. Moving forward, we've got the TN. Now, I talked about this one yesterday. This TN, with its activate battle once per turn, pay 1, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with a 3 cost, or that cost 3 or less, and switch it to rest mode. I don't like this. Because its stat line of 20k and a cost of 3, green, blue, and red can remove this guy before you ever even throw your first attack. And with that being said, I just can't see this as being reliable. Imagine tapping 3 and your opponent goes 3 cost SR Goku, blow it out of the water before it even attacks. Green has the ability to do this too. Blue definitely has the ability to bottom deck this or bounce this before they even get to that point. I don't think this card is going to be able to do enough, and on top of that, it has a cost restriction that means that late game, it's not doing anything. So, yeah, I don't really like Tien Shinhan. Now, they're trying to make this little Whis core, and I don't know how I feel about that one either, but we've got a 4 cost 25k, 10k combo power, and this guy is a blocker, but he has an activate battle for 1 that's going to untap himself, meaning that once he's established, he can attack, and then you can pay 1 to untap him, and then, you know, you can block with him, and then maybe pay 1 to unblock him again, because Vegeta's going to give you the energy to do so. But the issue is, as much of mileage as you can get from this card, 4 cost 25k is not really a strong stat line. If your opponent gets annoyed with this card, they can easily remove it in most colors outside the mirror, and so I think that's just going to be kind of a issue. Now, the thing is, in the mirror though, you tap down your opponent's cards during their turn. So Whis is funny in the sense that he is an angel, he has time rewinding powers, and he is immune to being stunned like that, because if you stun this Whis, you can just pay 1 and then tap him during your turn. Bada bing, bada boom. Oops, I guess. So that is something to know. He may be a better card if the mirror becomes a very much so prevalent, you know, just thing. Next, we have got a 5 cost Whis. 5k or 5 cost, 35k power, and then you got 5,000 combo power. End of your turn, choose up to one of your rest mode cards, switch to active mode. He can affect your energy, he can affect other battle cards. He's just very, 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 very nice. 5 is a lot, because when you think of 5, he is contesting with Golden Frieza, and I think Golden Frieza in almost any way, shape, or form is just a better card than this, and I think that's the only thing really holding this Whis back. He is a 5-drop, and that is a little too chunky. Now, speaking of the Whis Beerus core, they want you to be able to play this Beerus. 3 cost, 20k power, 10k combo power, critical, and he gains 5k if you have a Whis on board. The issue with this card for me, first and foremost, is that he's a 3 cost, your Whis is a 4 and a 5. You literally, if you have like a 1 or a 2, like a 1 cost Whis with 10k power, that'd be something. But you have to play this guy generally before you play your Whis, and I don't really like it. I don't like it. I think it's a little clunky, and it comes a little too late. It's not really throughout your game plan. It's like the top end of your game plan. Your top end should already, I think, be Goku, Frieza, and Frieza, personally. Now we've got a 1 cost Bulma, 5k power, 5k combo power. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, pick a Whis. I'm surprised that she doesn't allow you to pick a Beerus or a Whis, but I think that just makes the Beerus Whis core even more flimsy. Yes, you can search out your Whis cards, but it's not like they're breaking the game, and you can't search out your Beerus cards, but the Beerus requires a Whis. I think until we see more yellow Whis and Beeruses, this is just not a good engine, or not a good package. Now we're on to the extra cards, and what we have is the Energy Blast of Volley. 1 cost, activate main, choose all your opponent's battle cards, switch in the rest mode. This card is interesting, but I don't really think it's great. Your opponent has to kill you at some point, and so they're going to be turning their cards sideways regardless, and you have enough cards that can tap things down as well. So I think that since your opponent has to attack you, they're going to be turning their things to the side, and that's going to allow you to lock it down. If we magically get in some format where people just play cards and stare at you and never attack for some reason, then I guess this card will bring it to them. But until then, I just feel like this card, your opponent is already going to have to turn their card sideways. Now we're on to one of the premier cards for this set, because like I said, Vegeta will live or die off of the strength of its activate battles, and you've got time rewound. 1 cost, activate battle, something, a leader or a battle card gains 20k, and you can untap a battle card. So I like this card a lot. I think that this card is very, very, very strong, and it can do a lot of things. Your opponent tries to go neutral 20k into a Bulma, and you can literally activate this card to just go over the attack, untap Bulma, and have Bulma there to gain you cards the following turn. You trade a card for a card, but you stop their momentum. Also, this card is going to be able to do lots of cool things. When it comes to your Frieza, both of them, the Golden Frieza and the SR Frieza, well, the SR and the SR Golden Frieza, if your opponent invests enough energy to play a card that can rival them in attack and then combos on it, they might not have enough power or enough energy to remove it via effect afterwards. So you can use time rewound to stop a huge shotgun and then untap said card so they cannot attempt to swing on it and combo on it again. Now this is going to take format awareness, because you don't want to use time rewound on a Golden Frieza SR only to get final flash with their last energy, but you do have the opportunity to potentially protect your board very, very well with this card, and I love it. Yellow needed that. And then speaking of activate battles, you've got Blue Power Awakening. We've seen this card before. It's got an activate main that can KO something in rest mode that costs 6 or higher, so basically just green, and then I guess Goku blacks and blue. In yellow, it should be kind of dead on that effect, because the only card you can hit is Golden Frieza, and if Golden Frieza sideways out of Vegeta sideways, I don't know what to tell you. Like, they gave you a free shot at it. Activate battle, choose your leader or up to one of your battle cards against plus 25k power. So this goes tall, not wide. This is pretty good. If somebody needs to shotgun you with a double striker, this is a card that can potentially start getting you out of that. And so I like it a lot. Now, moving on to cards that feel like good support, you've got Death Ball. Death Ball is from the first starter deck, but this is the premier activate battle card, in my opinion, that you're going to be using with Vegeta. Being able to go up 15k and then stop a 3 cost or rest a 3 cost or less is generally going to stop 2 attacks. It's going to have to cause your opponent to sequence correctly to play around you. Like if you have a battle card in hand you want to play, and then for the turn, and then you have a battle card already on the board and your leader, the correct sequence from your opponent is going to be to swing with that battle card, then play the other battle card or swing with the leader. And then, you want to make sure that you never get 2 for 1. You never are in a position where they can block your attack and tap down something, because it doesn't touch leaders. So you need to make sure that you only have 1 applicable target as much as possible and swing with that target before adding another target to the board to attack with that. So it's going to change the way your opponent has to play, and every chance that your opponent has to play better is a chance for them to play worse and for you to get over them in terms of skill. That is literally what skill gapping is. So the other card that I'm saying is going to synergize pretty well is Frieza. You got the 1 cost on play, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. Very, very, very good. Like I said, early game board disruption is going to be pivotal in the next coming format. Thanks mostly to our red being how it is with its Whis and its Roshis, and even Bulma's in the mirror and Zamasu's in the blue matchup. So it's just going to be very important. And if Tragedy in Ginger Town ever becomes popular, it's going to be good against green too, to tap down those Earthlings and then swing on them. So just all around good stuff, good stuff. Golden Frieza, I was talking about the curve before. This guy and Goku will work hand in hand to make sure none of your opponent's board will be able to untap, and I think that this is just good. You have like such a nice little curve now of 4-drop Goku, 5-drop Golden Frieza, 6-drop Golden Frieza, and then you just try to maintain the board from there. And then you have this Ginu package. I think personally the Ginu package is now too large to fit in this deck. I think the deck no longer needs to just do the 2 to 3 20k spam combo. I think your deck is more than capable of just putting out value on board, keeping your opponent's board to a minimum, and grinding them out of the game, especially with the Golden Frieza muscle at your top end. So I don't really think that Ginu has the space. Maybe I'm gonna try to test out everything. So I will try a version with the Ginu package, a version without the Ginu package, and see what I like more. But I think that we may have seen the sunset on this goated yellow package. Speaking of goated yellow cards, we also have Cooler, and I think Cooler suffers because Vegeta SR was introduced to the game. Cooler used to be the end-all, be-all backbreaker of the yellow mirror, and it's just not his day anymore. If Vegeta is on the field and turns sideways, just using Cooler's effect makes a card ineligible to be popped by his effect. Just turning it to rest mode puts it under Vegeta's protection and no longer is able to be destroyed. So this card will no longer break the backs of your yellow mirrors, and I think it's just time that the sun sets, the supernova sets on our Lord and Savior Yellow Mirror Master Cooler. So with that, let's head over to the closing and finish up this video. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because there were a lot of cards in here, so this made a long video, almost 30 minutes on this one, but these are archetype breakdowns, not archetype that I'll barely talk about. So going into this, yellow I think is a very, very, very strong deck still. You still have a lot of utility. Your board on your opponent's side will just continue to get bigger and bigger for the most part, but you'll be able to keep it tapped down, and it's going to be very hard for them to board clear you. They can spot remove you a lot. Yes, I think you have an inherent weakness to blues removal, because blues removal will get around anything you have to say, and that is kind of a problem. I think Golden Frieza is a massive beat stick, and the fact that he actually will start removing things that are on the board unless you're playing against the mirror and they have their own Vegeta, I think is a huge, huge, huge boon when it comes to this. But I think that yellow is a little less of an exposed nerve now. They have some protection from that destruction in Vegeta, but I really do think that Vegeta is the crucial cog in the machine right now. He is the card that got introduced that changes the color for the better in a massive, massive way. Their awakening has never been stronger. It is just it's well-oiled machine. And then on top of that, you have a boss card like Frieza. Goku has nice synergy. I'm excited. I think that yellow may be the most prevalent deck because I think yellow just has the chops to go off and, you know, just maintain. I think that it has some weaknesses. I think that both red and blue kind of are the decks that can put daggers in the chinks of the armor, like between gaps, and really get into yellow. But I think yellow has the power to still play around regardless. So we shall see. Like I said, if you guys want to see my own deck list, some untapped footage, and just me going through my reasoning for why I play what I play, that will be on the Patreon. Just got to be in the $5 tier or higher, and we're putting out articles, companion articles with each one of these archetype breakdowns, and we'll be going even deeper next week when we start going to set one supported decks. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'd like to give a special shout out to the Patreon members because you guys are the people that give me the extra oomph to keep going. We have our Realm of Extras, which by the way got a new one as of today. So we have our welcome Adnan. Adnan actually has joined the Realm of Extras, so thank you for that. And then past that, we've got our Big Daddy Flapjacks, our Beerus, our Bryce R's, our Kevin I's, our Mario V's, and our Mr. Top Decks. Thank you guys for being in my Realm of X. Thank you guys for giving the extra support for the channel, and I'm going to keep pushing through the content. So see you guys tomorrow on this channel, but really today, maybe on Twitch, maybe on UniXDB. We'll see. Later.